How was your day today?
Today's been a good day.
Yeah, good. Looks beautiful there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if this works outside here.
Yeah, look at that. I think so. Plus I get a really good view. Nice.
Yeah. I was just actually talking to my friend that's right by Milwaukee.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's hot here today. We're not used to it yet, even though it's gonna be July. It's just been kind of a colder, rainy kind of
Mhm.
spring, summer. It hasn't been super, although like, I think tomorrow it's supposed to be in the hundreds, which is kind of unusual for us. That's hot then.
Yeah,
Oh,
and the mugginess.
yeah. Do you have that there by you? No.
No, that's the best part of living here is it's a dry heat.
Is it?
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's
Nice.
always really comforting.
Good, good. Yeah. Yeah, we get the mugginess and not all the time, but like today it's muggy and then like a few days and then we'll probably get a thunderstorm and then it'll be, cooler again. So, but so as long as it's just you and I, why don't we, anything, I know we just talked, but is there anything, any questions or anything that you have right now?
No, I
No.
I feel pretty good.
Do you? Good, 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 good. I know there's a couple members whose kids are getting married this weekend, so hopefully once that kind of gets back a little bit to normal for them, they'll be jumping on too. But what I wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna share my screen here. Or not wanted to, but what I'm going to talk about. And I thought this was a good topic. Oops, why is that up there? I'm gonna move this bar. There we go, moving out of there. All right, you can see my screen?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I thought this was, because I'm feeling a little bit like this myself. I'm feeling a little sorry for myself just in some things that are going on in my life. And I was like, why am I doing that? I have so many things to be grateful for. So I wanted just to talk a little bit about, like, and you probably said this to yourself because most of us have, why does everything bad happen to me? Right? And then that's like self-pity or feeling sorry for yourself because of whatever it is that you're going through. And it typically happens when your life gets super stressful, and you're just so focused on yourself, you just start feeling sorry for yourself. So you're only really, seeing that little bit of, and I can, as my parents have gotten older, my mom has really fallen into a lot of this. Why does everything bad happen to me and all that kind of stuff? And I don't know if it comes with age or if she's just, hey, Jody. I just jumped right into the topic. Self-pity, feeling sorry for yourself. Have you ever felt sorry for yourself? Yeah. I was saying to Hillary too, that my mom has really been in kind of this slump and she's kind of gotten into that a little bit. And I do too, and that's why I brought this up, because I get like this once in a while. And sometimes when people feel sorry for themselves, they confuse that with depression. But if you have both, it can be really awful, right? And yeah, and you start to feel you don't have any like care about anything in the world. You're empty, you're not interested, right?
Yep.
So like self-focused and like, oh my God, the world's gonna end. And I'm not depressed, but I certainly go through bouts of feeling sorry for myself. So, but it's, and this statement here, if you stay in that self-pityness or that feeling sorry, I think self-pity sounds horrible. So it's more to me like I'm feeling sorry for myself. Like, oh, woe is me. Nobody else has ever had this happen. It must just be me. But that's not gonna, right? Like Eeyore.
Yeah.
All right. And then you're not going to move forward, and you're not going to be present in what you're dealing with, and you're not going to reach those goals or things that you want to do for yourself. And when I was at the bedside taking care of patients, there would be those patients like that too. And we used to call them ER patients because they would be like that. And some of it is, I think you need to give yourself a little bit of that, like, but then you need to move on and not wallow in it, so.
Right.
And then it's like you can't see the forest through the trees, as they say. Yeah, and not every, there's a lot of people out there that, like, you just have to experience joy in everyday life, and every day is wonderful, and that's not very easy, and I don't think it's really that practical. I think we just have to learn to, like, okay, feel sorry for yourself for a little bit, and then just move on. Like, okay,
Those
get the
people
heck
are
out of
lying.
here. What's that?
Those people that act like that are lying.
They are, because that's not even possible, right? Right. No. So, and a lot of times when we don't get what we want, or maybe it's like you're doing this great job at work and you don't get that promotion, you start to feel sorry for yourself, and then that your work isn't validated, or how you feel is not, that you're not validated for that. And it also sucks your energy, right?
Mhm.
You feel like not doing anything. And it's really hard to snap out of it. It's really hard to just turn and be different in the next minute. It takes a little while.
Turn that
And-
frown upside down.
Right. Yeah. I remember my mom saying that when I was younger. Because you didn't get what you wanted. Like,
That's
yep,
right.
pretty much. And then indulging in ice cream and all that. And, it's one thing to talk to, and it's another thing. I'm having a lot of different thoughts in my head, but also it's good to have friends to talk to, but sometimes if those friends aren't the supportive friends, that
Yeah.
negativity just will suck the life out of you. And then and they almost kind of want you to feel that way.
Oh,
Like, they
absolutely.
want that for you, right? So
Makes them feel better.
it does. Yeah. A lot of times it does. Yeah. It's not always stress that causes it. A lot of times what you're feeling comes off as you're feeling sorry for yourself, but some of us need that validation that, yeah, you should feel sorry for yourself, or ain't that awful. And then
I've been there.
and it perpetuates.
Yeah.
Right? It perpetuates, and then it's so easy to sit around a desk of people and talk about how bad the world is than it is to talk about happy stuff, right? So validation can be good validation or bad, right? So the negative self-validation can then be reinforced by sympathetic reactions, so people thrive on that. So if you have that person that comes up and there's always something bad going on, typically it's because they want that attention and they need that attention. You probably know of people like that, maybe family members and things like that. So,
I've been that person on occasion. I'll admit it.
yeah, right. Like, please agree with me, because, and then when they don't, you get really pissed off.
Yeah.
When they don't agree with.
Don't tell me the truth. Tell me what I want to hear.
That's right. Yeah. Very, very true. Yeah, to try to get out of that self-pity is to have a strategy to interrupt it. And so, but it requires a self-awareness, that you need, that you're recognizing that about yourself. Most of us do recognize that. Like, I'll be like, what? I have really nothing to be feeling sorry for me. Why am I feeling this way?
Right.
And so trying to snap out of that. So, there's some research that's been done actually a while ago, that there's 3 critical components to having self-compassion instead of self-pity. Being understanding and kind to yourself during times of failure, because everybody fails. And when you look at people in the world and the failures, many of these successful business people, businessmen, presidents, musicians, whoever, have failed so many times before they were successful. So just get back up on the horse, right?
Yeah.
Keeping painful thoughts and feelings is a mindful state. So be aware of that, and viewing your negative outcomes as part of the overall human experience. So it's very true. Anytime that we're negative, we're going to have negative outcomes. Just like if we tell ourselves we're fat all the time, You know,
Right.
we're gonna stay that, we're gonna be that way because our mind is telling our bodies that. So, so having self-compassion can mean accepting that sometimes these things happen, right? Things happen. We've all experienced life and it's not always pleasant. But rather, you know, say that to yourself instead of saying, why do things always happen to me? Why is it me? It's always, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know people who bad things happen to over and over,
Uh-huh.
but bad things happen to them for a reason?
And they wallow.
And yes, and it just keeps, I have a friend, she lives about 45 minutes from here, and it's always something, but she wallows in it and feels sorry for herself. And she knows what she needs to do, but she doesn't do it. And so it's just so, it's not even fun talking to her.
Yeah.
You know, and I try and help her, but and most of us try and help, but what happens is then we get bogged down because of it too. So
Well, you end up distancing yourself.
you do, and I don't, it's like she calls and I look and I go,
I
should I
can't.
answer or not?
wanna do
That sounds terrible. It's like, oh, yeah. So switching self-pity to self-compassion can start with just perspective. And we've talked about a lot of these things. So let's see, mindfulness, right? There's things that you can do to pull yourself out of that self-pity, you know, and everyone struggles. Everyone has stress. We're not the only ones. And so shifting that to a better outcome is much better than just wallowing in it. And because though it's just like I was saying about my mom, you know, so it's constant worry and constant feel sorry for herself that it's not getting any better for her. And even though my sister and I are trying to tell her, you know, stop it, mom, you've got healthy grandkids, you're healthy, your dad's healthy, and there isn't anything to feel sorry for yourself about. I mean, you have choices to get out and move around, and a lot of this has to stem around COVID, and she's just really super afraid of it. So yeah, I want to send her this to help her think about, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. So you'll see. Yeah. Anyway, mindfulness.
Obsessive compulsive.
Yeah.
Because that I have that issue with certain things in my life. It's like it's nonstop. The brain just keeps you can try and distract yourself before you know it. All of a sudden you're thinking about it again because it's become almost compulsive and obsessive thought process.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
Struggling with that right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I do have some of that too.
Yeah. How do
Very
you get
much
your mind
so.
out of it? What do you do? What do you do
Right.
when you catch yourself doing it? You can distract yourself, but it's like you're literally thinking of two different things at the same time. Like when I'm out walking, I have music and I'm listening to music, but it's like I'm having this conversation in my head.
Mm-hmm.
How do
So
you?
you're working on distracting it. You're aware of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. So some of these tips might help.
Okay.
So let's go. And we talked about a lot of it. Mindfulness, that's a big word, right? Choosing happiness because of choosing focusing on everything that's gone wrong.
Right.
But gratitude, I really, you know, as much as this is out there and it's almost like people get tired of hearing that you should be grateful, but you really should,
Yeah.
because you have a roof over your house, you know,
That's
you
where I'm
have
trying to get. I'm trying to find,
Right.
I'm trying to be grateful instead of obsessive about negative or
negative
should I
things.
coulda, woulda, or I should have said this, or why did that happen? It's just this.
Yeah. So I used to say gratitude, you know, do that at night. And what I do is if I think of something, like if I'm starting to go down that negative pathway about, you know, what's going on in my life, I think about, you know what? Yeah, but it could be worse. I could be sitting in a hospital, having treatments for cancer. I could be,
Yeah.
look at Pat
Oh,
from
yeah.
Florida, whose son killed himself.
I know.
I mean, we could be going through that, you know, and I'm thinking, you know what? Savoring those small things, like you're able to get out and go for your walk,
Yeah.
you know, and and you're able to cook good foods, you're able to go to the store, you're able to afford good foods, you have two legs to exercise on. I know it sounds so, but it really makes a difference in my head. So that's what I,
Right.
you know, and just talking with you guys on a weekly basis really helps me a lot. So, and there's a lot of research, like there's some research that was just done a couple years ago that, social, emotional, and psychological health are benefited when you will benefit when you talk or when you write down those things that you're grateful for. And it might even be the same thing every day for a
Right.
while. Like, I'm grateful I got out of bed and got my steps in. You know, I that's, you know, when you look at your goals for the day, you're probably not going to meet every single goal that you have. Like when I look at my lists of things to do, I'm like, and I know, so what I do is I pick 3 really important things and I really focus on those 3 versus the 10 that are there, right? So, and it takes a lot of like that self-talk, and it can be obsessive compulsive. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that, but you're very mindful of what's happening. So that is pretty good.
And I'm
'Cause you-
damn sick of it, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
if you're
really
not,
am.
right, if you're.
I'm
but
gonna
if
start to
you're-
scold myself for crying out loud. Why are you thinking about that again? Yeah.
Is it anything in particular? Is it something that you need to solve, like, or make a choice about that would make it stop or alleviate it?
There's no solving it. It's kind of a twofold thing, something that happened, something that I allowed to happen. And I always say, I'm single for a reason because I attract like the bottom of the barrel, and they all seem really nice in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And before you know it, you're hooked, you're sucked in, and now you're just trying to keep your head above water. So I mean, I'm out of the situation, and have been for quite some time. But
Right.
it's still, why did I let this happen? Why did I stay in there? Why did I waste so much time? You knew. So that's
So-
I'm beating myself up over it.
Right. So you can't, and we can talk through it. So you can't change the past.
Nope.
So you've learned from it. You can't, you have to live in the day. Today's the day. I want to make this day the best I can. I'm going to do whatever I can, 1% better. You can't predict the future, but you know you're not going to make that mistake again.
Correct.
So maybe just thinking of it, I can't change it, it happened. Just like with some of my relationships and things, I can't change what happened, but it certainly has made me the person I am today. And I'm grateful for it. It sucked going through it,
Yeah.
but I probably wouldn't be here where I am right now if it didn't happen. So it's probably made you smarter and made you more mindful about choices and the person that you are and what you want out of life.
It's also
Too.
made me very cautious.
Yes.
Very, very cautious, to the point where it's like, no.
Right,
I've
right.
met you before. And it could be a perfect person.
Yeah.
No, I've met you before.
Right, right. And, look at all the work that you've done on yourself over this past year
Yeah.
and how different you are and how you appear and how you handle things. And so be really proud of that too,
Thank you.
because I've seen the difference from my very first conversation with you to where you at now. You're like a total different person.
This is the real me.
Yeah.
The other
Right.
beat down me. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've made so many amazing changes in your life, but you did it all on your own. Like, right, you could have just said, screw that, I'm not gonna do that, I'm not gonna do this, but you
I'm gonna have some more ice cream.
making those. What did you say?
I'm gonna have some more ice cream.
Right,
Go for a walk, exercise, have some ice cream. I'll have some.
there you go, right.
I don't do that anymore.
Right, but you can do that once in a while, right?
Yeah.
So, another thing, a connection, if you're just feeling sorry for yourself, you're going to be by yourself a lot longer, and people aren't gonna want to be around you, right?
True.
And then all that validation that comes from the pity party, right? It's just this vicious cycle and you'll never get out of it. So, I think these conversations and even the conversations that you and I have one-on-one are probably pretty helpful. Probably
Absolutely.
helps you Yeah, which is good. That's why I do this. It's really just want to do this so it gives you ladies a safe place to come and just talk about things that are bothering you. And nobody's going to talk about it to anybody else, you know? So, sometimes, you know, we say we don't deserve to be happy. We don't deserve to treat ourselves well. And that's so many women. I can't begin to tell you guys how many conversations I have where they say, a woman will say, I just don't deserve it. I don't think I deserve to spend money on myself, you know, and it's how do you break through that? And there's probably some self-pity and some self-bashing going on too.
Or there's the phrase, the question that and I catch myself asking this, sometimes it's in jest, but sometimes there's some deep-seated question there. What did I do to deserve this?
Right.
You know, and it's like, so that puts it on
Right.
me being trying to be responsible for somebody else's crap.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good point. Yeah. If you have friends and family that are super supportive and will tell you to knock it off and just, you know, be grateful for what you have, those are the people you want to be with, you know,
Yep.
the ones that are going to be like that. So, identifying the source of your stress briefly and being solution focused instead of problem focused. So it's kind of like what we talked about, like, how can I fix this? You know, what are some things I could do to try and alleviate that from, you know, like I said, you can't change what happened in the past.
Right.
Just have to learn from it. And sometimes counseling helps too, that you can just kind of get that out.
Yeah.
So I don't pretend to know everything. I can do research and also just use my experiences and what I've gone through in my life, because I'm just like you guys. I have a lot of things that some of them I want to change, like what happened in the past. I'd love to go back and change it, but for some reason that it happened that way, and I have to just be thankful it did, and I'm still here, and you know, made
What a do-over.
Yeah. Can I have a do-over? Like, I would really like to go back to like being in my early 40s and just what I know now. I want to take that back, you know, 12, 13 years and just start that, but I can't, right? You just can't. So you have to go from where you are now, what you know, and be able to share it, you know, like I'm doing now and like you guys are doing too. So everybody has moments of self-pity, because, you know, everyday life can be challenging and sometimes it's way too challenging. Like everything happens all at once. But when you stay wrapped up in that, you just feel stuck and you just can't move forward. And so, and it takes you away from who you are, right, Jody? It does. It takes you away from where you are. So,
Absolutely.
right. And sometimes it feels like it's going to last forever. Like, am I ever going to feel good? Am I ever going to get past? But if we can develop some of those skills of being grateful and writing those things down and being mindful and positive self-talk, you won't need the validation from those negative people at all. And you need to focus on self-compassion and not that self-pity, because that's just going to change internally. It's going to change from the inside out. So it's something that I'm really practicing and will continue to do. It's really been helpful. And I know Hillary has been working a lot of that mindset stuff too. And I think a lot of you guys are, because when people tell you it's all in your head, it's true.
Uh-huh.
It is the good stuff and the not so good stuff, right? It really isn't all in your head, and it's perspective, and just having those people in your life too that can guide you, and just kind of, maybe they just say one thing, or they just lend an ear for a little bit, that just helps you feel better, and you could see that perspective and then move on from that. But yeah, crazy. So I am recording this, so I'll post this in the group as well. But you guys have any questions or anything that you guys would like to talk about at all?
Oh, there you go.
Hello.
I was like, whoo.
I just stopped sharing.
I had a counselor at one point when I was in therapy years ago that said, when you're finding yourself being obsessive compulsive, have a with the thought process, have a rubber band on your wrist and snap it. You want to know what? I was bruised. And
Yes.
that doesn't work. That didn't work at all.
Oh, just hurts, right?
It hurt. It
Yeah,
both hurt
right.
on me.
Right. And maybe, I was thinking too, when you were saying that you've got this thing that that obsessive compulsive thought. Maybe you have some kind of a mantra when you're walking
Mhm.
that you tell yourself over and over, even though it might sound silly, like, something that maybe would, trigger your mind to think of something different.
I don't look good in orange.
I don't like orange jumpsuits. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or the feeling that you get maybe when you're riding your bike, when you're on your motorcycle.
There you go.
No, but I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not, but yeah.
I used to say, I have no control over what other people do, only how I react to it. And that for years ago, that was my go-to and it worked. And now it's like, oh, shut up. You don't look good in an orange jumpsuit. That works better for you right
Right.
now.
Right. Yeah, well, there you go. See, and you have a great sense of humor. So maybe something like that, you're thinking about yourself. Yeah, I don't want to go down that route. Or like when I used to do this is years ago, when I would run all the time. It was just a stress relief. That's when cardio worked for me. Doesn't do that anymore, but I would run and I would say like, I'd call it a mantra. And I would just say it over and over to just keep my mind off of what was going on in my head about just kind of the physical, like of my running. And it just kept me going.
Right.
It was just like quotes that I liked, and different things like that. So something like that might help you too, where the minute that thought comes in, you say, maybe there's an orange jumpsuit, or maybe you just say orange jumpsuit and then you laugh and you move on. I mean, there could be something.
Orange jumpsuits aren't for me.
Yeah, right. I don't look good in orange either. This office that I'm in is orange and I hate it. But it's supposed to be really good to have that color in the office, which is I'm in the gym office. And so it's orange with some white lettering and things, but
And you're like,
I'm not an orange. No, I could wear gold, but not orange.
right.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I'm going to tap into Hillary. Do you think there is anything, Hillary, that would help Jody too or what kinds of things do you do? As far as like negative self-talk or, anything like that.
Yeah, so the gratitude has been the big thing right now, the things that I'm grateful for, and then adding in like because, so that there's more emotion attached with it.
Okay.
And then also, I think I talked about it a few calls back too, is doing future gratitude of things that I want to happen, that I want to be grateful for.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been doing that. And the one that I do every day is the one about how my body's feeling. Being grateful for how I'm so happy and grateful that my body feels so amazing because it feels strong and I feel so good. And I switched that one up a little bit. I also do one where I'm grateful about my new black bathing suit and how it makes me feel and what it looks like. And that's really, really helped me in the visualization part of being more in touch with my body. But the other thing that has been helpful for me too, and I was talking to Diana about today, is the self-talk thing, like just really being aware of it and trying to shut that voice up and, just kind of watching what the patterns are that are showing up in that voice when it shows up, like what it's saying to me. And then being aware of how I'm responding back to myself, and even doing more mirror work where I'm just like, I have some mirrors in my little workout room and I spend time and I'll just talk to myself as I'm looking at myself in the mirror a little bit more too, and acknowledging my wins instead of being so hard, because I used to be so obsessed with my stomach, the pouch,
Same.
And I gave it too much attention. I gave it a lot of attention,
Right.
but I'm trying to flip that so that it's positive attention instead of, and so I feel like just making some of those tweaks have actually helped me
Wonderful.
in my confidence in my relationship with myself.
It's good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, I really like that. The future gratitude, I really like that because, yeah, grateful. What do I want to be grateful for in the future? Might be I'm debt free or, something like that, but yeah, when you put so much focus on, this is interesting. So I have a friend and he's having a lot of problems with his shoulders, just a lot of pain. And his physical therapist is is into physical therapy, dry needling, exercise, strengthening, and all of that. But she also has a holistic approach. She says, maybe you're focusing too much on your shoulders. Like, don't focus every day on it. Maybe focus on them twice a week versus, 5 times a week. And actually he took her advice and he says, it's working. Like, I'm not so focused on it. So if you focus on it so much, it's true, you are drawing attention to it. And then if it's a negative thing, that's not good either. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
It does.
No, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Great idea.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any little tidbits you can pick up. But I do like that. And then I tend to write stuff down because, like, if I, what I'm grateful for, like, just different things that really, it just helps. I don't know. And it's not a certain time of the day. Like I said, I used to say that all at night before I go to bed, but it shouldn't matter what time of the day because things pop in your head all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but try adding the feeling into it too. Like,
Yeah.
even before your bed when you're doing it, whatever you're grateful for, add because, and then whatever.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm grateful for getting out of bed this morning because I got my workout in, or I was able to get breakfast in before I left. Or, it might be just like a lot of women struggle with eating in the morning, or they struggle with getting their enough protein in and stuff. But if you can say that, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful I got my protein in today because I feel really good. Like, I feel strong and I feel, it's just little things like that. People want to make it bigger than what it really is.
Yeah.
They got to have this whole, like, predefined list of, nobody's going to see it. It's yours,
Right.
unless you want to share it, but it's really, so.
I'm grateful for that lovely dress that I got tons of compliments on the other day. It was loud. That dress was loud.
Oh,
And
but you look good.
The
Yeah.
one with it looked like stained glass.
Yes.
Yeah, I put that on and went, oh, I
Yep.
don't know if I'm leaving the house in this or not. And it wasn't awful. It
No.
wasn't awful, but I'm so hypercritical of myself that you're looking for perfection that just doesn't exist. So I just had to suck it up and say, I'm leaving the house in this thing. And if people don't like it, they don't have to look at it.
That's
know?
right. It's about
But
you
rock
and what
the
you
damn
want.
thing,
Yeah.
So,
And it was awesome. I saw those compliments. Yeah, it's because it's bright and cheery and people want happy. People want happy. We are so everything you see and hear on the TV is not happy.
no,
It's not. And so so I think it's just like I went to see the oh my God, Top Gun, the new Top Gun movie.
okay, yeah,
That's a happy movie. I
Is
was
it?
like, I'm actually watching this movie and I'm leaving happy. Like, it was so good. Because everything is killing and,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just not good stuff. So I was like, I'm feeling happy. It's crazy that we have to even think that, right? We should be happy all the time,
I know,
but
I know.
it's crazy. It's crazy. So,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
have
you guys are
company
awesome.
for 2 weeks, so
You have what?
I have company coming again for
For 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. When's the arrival date?
right after the 4th.
Okay.
the end of the week of the 4th. So
Oh, boy.
I'm trying to figure out how to keep my bedroom.
Right, right.
My space.
That's your sanity. You should be able to have your space. Oh, wow. Well, you'll get to see the granddaughter though,
Oh,
right?
yeah. She'll be crazy. Who knows? Maybe you guys will hear her.
Right, right, right. How old is she again?
She turned 2 in January.
Oh, yeah, same, yeah, one of my grandsons is 2 and oh man,
Yeah, they're a handful.
they are that age. Holy crap. It's like,
She's
oh,
loud.
yes. Yes, yes,
It'll be fun. So
yes, yes.
I'm getting
So
ready
you're-
for that. So that's nice. I've been distracted just trying to get
That
stuff
helps.
kid proof my house again. So
Right, oh, yeah, otherwise it's crazy.
it is.
They demolish everything.
They do.
So hopefully this was helpful, you guys, and gave you a different perspective and
I appreciate Hillary's input.
Yeah.
There was some good points
Awesome.
there. I'll try.
yeah, help. It's good. It's good advice. See how we learn from each other. I love that. And any little tidbits for sure. So well, cool. Unless there's anything else, I can let you guys go. And I'll post this, and I know Jody, you and I will be talking on Wednesday, and
I still got to
Yeah.
get my thing in for the day.
yeah, no worries, no worries. Good.
It'll get
All right, ladies, you have a good rest of your evening, okay?
in.
You too.
I will, thanks.
Thank
Yep,
you.
bye-bye. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.